Apple has gone from being one of the biggest hoarders to one of the largest dividend payers. Our good friend Shelly Palmer, who always helps us understand what this means. Shelly, why has Apple done this now? Is it simply the weight of money going into the bank?
I think management's job, Richard, is to increase shareholder value, and they're doing this two ways. One, the dividend does actually allow other fund managers to buy into Apple, and more importantly, it makes the stock that much more attractive to a whole other class of buyer. And secondly, they're going to buy back a bunch of stock to give to the employees. Ultimately, the fiduciary responsibility of any board and any set of executives is to increase shareholder value, and they believe they're doing that.
Okay, so but what has changed, Shelly, from, you know, the Steve Jobs, besides obviously the demise of Mr. Jobs himself, what has changed from the theory and rationale that didn't pay dividends for 17 years to one that suddenly pays today?
I think it's important that we pay respect to Steve Jobs for changing the world the way he did, but we also have to admit that Steve Jobs had some idiosyncrasies that were not 100% rational when it comes to the doing of business. And one of them was this immense hoarding of cash and his unwillingness to share the wealth and do certain kinds of things with the balance sheet and income statement that might have been better as a business for Apple. In this case, Tim Cook is here. Steve Jobs has changed the world. May he rest in peace. This is a new Apple. As they like to say, or we like to say, they have a very deep bench. And again, their fiduciary responsibility is to the shareholders to increase the value of the company, which they are doing brilliantly.
Okay, Shelly, you may have seen our Apple demonstration, the real live apples with apples. This really does make it clear, doesn't it, that no matter how much they are handing out in buybacks or in shareholder dividends, this war chest just keeps growing. And assuming, I mean, I've got the numbers here for how many iPads, and 30-odd million iPhones, 15 million iPads. If it carries on at this rate, this just gets bigger.
You know what's crazy, Richard? Ordinarily, what goes up must come down. And in this case, it doesn't seem like, unless they make an unbelievable mistake, that anything is going to go bad for Apple. Right now, the new iPad is going to sell very, very well. When they come out with the iPhone 5, whether that's in June or September or even later, they will not be able to make them fast enough. Apple literally doesn't distribute every place in the world they could distribute, and there are many of my friends who believe that $600 a share is actually inexpensive for what Apple's capabilities are, where they may go. So if you look at Apple, on balance, you're right, they're only giving a little bit back to the shareholders, but more importantly, they're doing the right thing, I think, as corporate citizens, and they're doing the right thing for the company. And yeah, their war chest is not going to get smaller. I can't believe Apple is not going to make an awful lot of money this year. There's a reason this company is the most valuable company by market cap in the world. And I don't see any way that this is going to change unless literally they have a gigantic failure. And you know what? They might be given one or two failures and get a pass on them. So right now, it is what it is, Richard. Strange but true.
Shelly, we're glad you're here to make sense of it for us. Shelly Palmer joining us from New York.